There's words about books, Ben.
It's
I
words about
think.
books, Nate.
Potentially. There's a good chance that it's words about books. It looks like everything's recording, so. It's words about books, Ben.
It's words about books, Nate.
Oh, God. I'm completely thrown off. So.
Yeah,
I guess let's just jump right into it, Ben.
let's just jump right in. You have an intro, as I understand.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how we arrived on this book. You're fatally invited. You are fatally invited.
You are fatally invited.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not going to try and pronounce their name because I'm going to do it stupid.
I believe it's Ande Pliego.
Okay. I mean, I got the first name right. First try. So this is selected by our patrons, Ben. And you had me worried because this was our judging books by their cover patron voting, where I just looked at 4 book covers that I liked and then I badly described them to our patrons to vote on, and everyone loves it, and I haven't heard any feedback, so I'm just assuming it's good and no other feedback will ever be accepted again. So this is what was selected, and then you had me worried, Ben, because last year we did this. We got the Mystery of the Yellow Room, which was a locked room mystery, and not our thing is the most charitable way we can describe that book. And then you started telling me that this was a locked room mystery at the beginning, at least. And then you started worrying me with like, oh God, this is
I really
this
did
is not
not.
great.
I was worried that the first couple perspectives were going to be there through the whole book.
Spoiler alert, they're not.
Yeah. So that's actually worth mentioning. Before we go much further at all, I'm going to issue a rare words about books spoiler warning. If you have any intention of reading You Are Fatally Invited by Ande Pliego, and I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not entirely sure. But I believe that is how you pronounce her name. Yeah, if you plan on reading this at all, it is the rare book that will be ruined by spoilers. It is a murder mystery. There is, I will say, some shenanigans in terms of misdirection. I have criticisms, but overall, actually really enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
Actually think it's kind of underrated on most of the major platforms.
You showed me Goodreads. It had like a 3 something. I was like, oh no, oh God.
Yeah, I actually.
This is much better than Ernest Klein.
Yeah, like no, I think so. That's your spoiler warning from here on out. If you get
this
something
was published this year,
yeah, that's the other reason for the spoiler rating. This is
shit.
actually her
Again,
debut
I
novel.
just grabbed. I saw the book cover and was like, that'll do for a poll. Let me describe this. I said it was either a mystery book or a horror book.
This is the debut novel of this author. Apparently, she had tried for a long time to get a YA novel published. She had an agent. She was going the traditional publishing route. This is traditionally published, but she apparently wrote this while they were trying to get somebody to accept the YA book, and this wound up being the book that people wanted to run with.
Can you imagine if we would have written a better book than Edenverse while...
Okay, yeah. Can you imagine if we would have written a better book? Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had talent?
I wonder about that every day. Yeah, we probably wouldn't be podcasters. Every podcast is built on shattered dreams. It's like those who can't do teach and those who can't teach podcast.
It's living the dream.
No, it's those who can't do teach, those who can't teach gym, those who can't teach gym podcast.
Oh yeah, that hits me in a lot of ways. Like my inability to run a mile, for example.
You'll get there one day.
I took a PFT, Ben. It might be my lungs that's the problem, and thus I am off the hook for how out of shape I am.
Oh wow,
Checkmate.
that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, well, yeah. So this being the author's debut, um, I cannot help but wonder if maybe part of the reason for the low rating is it is somewhat misadvertised with the
Yeah,
locked room stuff.
because it is not a locked room novel.
No, I've
And
actually
and I am glad, by the way. Locked room novels still not my thing. I was worried as soon as you said it was a locked room mystery that I was looking for the Rube Goldberg machine until you told me there was none.
here's the description here. Like here's a tagline from Goodreads. An exclusive thriller writer's retreat hosted on a private island turns lethal when one of the authors is found murdered in this twisty locked room murder mystery. He's literally found murdered tied to a tree outside. You Are Fatally
Yeah.
Invited is such a fresh and fun take on the much beloved locked room mystery.
In that it gets rid of the locked room part and just focuses on the mystery, which is the better of the two.
Uh, Here's another one. I wonder if these people all got the same like talking points, and that's why they're doing this. Deliciously twisted, perfect for thriller fans hungry for a fresh spin on a locked room murder
This is
mystery.
not a locked room murder mystery.
Okay, several people die in this book, and I think one of them, two of them, maybe are murdered in locked rooms. But
But there's
there's
an
open
obvious secret
windows.
passageway
There's secret
into the room.
passages. It's not okay. I've been writing a whole blog post on this, and I'm not going to go into all the stuff. But basically, there's two things a locked room. So, would you consider "And Then There Were None,"
No.
known by other titles in other places, to be a locked room murder mystery?
I don't think it would be. No.
I know what this is hewing so close to "And Then There Were None" that I would say it's an intentional homage.
Yeah.
Um, I would say "And Then There Were None" is kind of adjacent to a locked room murder mystery in that it falls into the impossible crime super genre of
Yeah,
those.
according to Google AI, that has never ever steered me wrong ever, and never supplies stupid inaccuracies.
I know
And then there
exactly
were
where
none
Google
is
AI is pulling this from.
a closed circle or impossible crime mystery than a traditional locked room mystery.
Yeah, because it happens on an island, not in a locked room.
And it's not, and the crimes are not impossible. Like, I suppose the final murder would have been a locked room because it's like, oh, how did you do it? And it was a Rube Goldberg machine to
Well,
make it look like
the
he was.
challenge is like the appeal, I think, of a locked room mystery or a closed circle or an impossible crime
Is
mystery.
reading page after page, scene after scene of, but there was no way to get inside that room. I checked, and then I looked all the way around, and I ripped up all the floorboards, and I tried to open the window, but it was locked from the other side. Just page out. It's so, I love it. It's the
Right.
best thing ever. It's just 100 pages of that usually, and it's
But
so great, Ben.
there are fans of it though.
I know.
And the
And
people
that's why we said it wasn't our thing when we were making fun of Tomato Head and his terrible, terrible detective work where he let the killer get away at the end.
I who for whatever reason, the people who like those, they like the challenge of trying to figure out how the crime could have been committed. Now, I don't know how in God's name anyone would ever think that a man thrust himself onto a samurai sword, and then that samurai sword was tied to a winch that when the sun's
I did guess
rays,
who the killer was,
yeah, yeah,
but
like,
yeah, I don't know how you would ever guess. She had a panic attack in her sleep, and she rolled out of bed and whammed her head on the side table while firing her gun wildly.
France used to be a lot more like America. um, oh God, yeah. So I think that could be part of the reason that this has such a low rating, because I would imagine if you're like a serious mystery person, like a serious Agatha Christie mystery person, you're going to go into this thinking like, okay, where's the intense puzzle solving I need to do? And this isn't really that. This is more of like, I also, there's another quote on here that it's like, where they say Agatha Christie meets Knives Out. That's high praise. I think that's a
That's
little setting the bar a little above where this is. And I think probably the author would agree.
yeah. I mean, I liked this
Yeah.
a lot, but like, boy, I would not want that comparison for my debut
No.
novel. That's
No.
that's gonna be hard to live up to.
Yeah. And I think maybe some of that is what's going on here. This is like hyped to the gills. And it's a pretty solid thriller book that will entertain. It's a quick read. But I think a lot of people went into it with the wrong expectations, and that's why it's sitting at a 3.6 on Goodreads, which
Yeah.
is brutal for Goodreads.
Yeah, Goodreads, they never rate it lower than like a 4 if they like it.
No, and I thought I'd go into this, and I thought I'd be like, oh, this is going to be like vapid, and the first two characters, Olivia and Rodrigo, are like, oh my god, they're just brunch people. They're just wealthy middle class
Yeah.
brunch people. That's the only way I can think to
Yeah,
describe
what's
it.
wrong with that? That's what I would be doing, Ben, if I were wealthy.
I don't know. With
As soon as
your
my wife gets her degree, I'm
pulmonary
jumping on the
function,
brunch.
can you do Pilates?
I can watch Pilates, which I
That doesn't affect your heart rate too much.
But hey, my heart is fine. It's my lungs that needs a little kick. I've got an inhaler as needed.
I'm
So yeah,
sorry.
just whenever I go running, I need to.
That does actually explain
Yeah.
some of the symptoms you've described when you run. Like
Yeah, no, it was
shouldn't be that hard.
when I was telling you how my chest was like on fire, and you're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, that isn't just how everyone is when they run. That's
My legs cramp and my spleen cramps, and
no,
my fat
I'm
shakes.
trying
But
to suck in air before my muscles start to turn to jelly.
so
It
you
was
shouldn't get involved in like crimes because you're not going to get away.
if I first of all, I'm in the rear with the gear. Okay, I'm the guy. I set you guys up to do the crime, and then I just like I'm in the van 4 blocks away, monitoring the situation through all the cameras. Second of all,
You're the worst
inhaler.
technologist I've ever seen. What
Hey,
are you talking about?
you're gonna have to set those cameras up too. Okay.
Your
If you
mic
get
didn't work when you logged in this evening.
it's a new computer. Okay, it's not my fault.
All right. Well, that's the
Yeah, I
setup, I
forgot
guess.
Olivia was one of the first people.
Um,
I remember Rodrigo, and he
Rodrigo's not super annoying. He's a little annoying. She grew on me. I didn't like Mila at the beginning.
yeah.
Nice.
By the end, I was like, "You get that revenge, Mila. Let's go."
I honestly wish she took a little more revenge. No, but I didn't care for Olivia, and it turns out I was onto something. So
So yeah, I
that's
guess
what I
you
think
want.
about every brunch girl. Every person who has drank a mimosa
My
is a
wife
serial
loves
killer.
mimosas.
She kills people.
I'm if she wants to kill me by snoo snoo, I guess it's my time to go.
Oh.
So Ben, we wanna jump in, or is there anything else you wanted to say about the book or the author?
No, I think that's it. I think it's getting a bum rap on Goodreads.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
God,
would
when Words
agree.
About Books is saying that, I don't know what's gone wrong. We're two of the harshest critics I know.
Well, we're gonna give this book the words about books bump, Ben.
Yep. Every patron who
Prepare.
voted for this has to read it.
That's true. I don't care if you didn't know what you were getting into.
I don't know what I'm getting into any minute of my life. Having some idea of where you are and what you're doing is a lie told to us by the government. Uh,
And that's what Buddha is here to help us break free of our chains, Ben.
yeah, exactly.
He's gonna show us the way. So the setup is that famously Private J.R. Allister, who I guess it's just Allister, but it's spelled like with an O, whatever.
It's Alistair,
So
yeah.
so Allister wrote all these novels, all these murder mystery novels, but no one knows what Allister looks like or who he is. But he's gonna do a work camp, a workshop, work camp sounds bad, especially in this day and age. It's a
Work camp
workshop,
sounds
writer's
bad.
retreat,
Yeah.
writer's retreat.
Do you think that'll be what they name that place in Ecuador? Or is
Yeah.
it El Salvador? I should know this.
Shit. Yeah, it's one of the E's.
uh, but no, I think they're going to start calling them work retreats.
Awesome, great. And then for anyone who has ADHD, needs help concentrating, they're going to put you in a concentration camp.
Yep.
So, Alistair invites Rodrigo, a former lawyer, and his wife, Olivia, who co write their shit together. He invites Fletcher. I don't remember some of these people's last names. I'm just going to call them
I
that.
think Fletcher is his last name.
Yeah, I know his last name. I don't know Rodrigo and Olivia's. And
I don't think they get last names.
oh,
I
okay.
could be wrong. This really does.
Cassandra, she
This
has a
needs
last name.
the Seishi Yokomizo dramatis personae in the beginning. Every mystery should have that.
Oh yeah, they should definitely have that where they go through the whole thing and you're listening to it on audiobook, so you're like, "Oh my god, I'm never going to remember any of this. I hope that this comes up later."
I bought the hardcover,
Yeah, you did.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, you did.
There was
So there's Fletcher. There's Violet, a child prodigy. And there's Cassandra,
Did you say prodigy?
prodigy.
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 You're making me think I'm having a stroke. Okay.
Prodigy.
Thank you.
Prodigy.
No. I really had a moment where I'm like, have I been saying it wrong all this time? No. No, it is Nate that is wrong. I hope. I hope.
Did I miss anyone who was invited?
Who did you say? Rodrigo, Olivia,
Oh,
Cassandra,
Ash. God damn it,
Ashton.
Ashton. There we go.
There
That's
is
his last name.
I'm gonna give you what they write as well. So there's Rodrigo and Olivia. They write crime thrillers about a lawyer. There is Fletcher, who writes literary fiction. He uses big words and writes long books.
And
Violet,
he doesn't write it for the sake of commercialism, although he definitely does do that. I don't know why he criticizes other people.
yeah, I do feel a little self-aware after I ranted about media tie-in books not being real writing for an hour. I'd probably be Fletcher, I guess. Then there is, like you said, Violet. She writes really violent, gory, goth, hot topic stuff.
She's 21.
She's 21. She's legal
She
now.
hasn't. She hasn't. Oh, all right. I was gonna say that she hasn't grown out of that phase yet. That was not where I was going with that. Oh my god.
Well, that matters for Mila.
Who we haven't introduced yet, but
Right.
okay.
Yeah. No, okay, I wasn't being creepy. That's going to come up. That's a factor in the story.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I know that's a factor, you weirdo.
not for me.
Yeah. No,
God.
I get what you're saying, you weirdo.
Am I editing this episode?
Do you want to edit this episode? I figured I would, but
No, I'll edit it because I don't trust you. You're going to leave that in.
all right.
Um,
Guess I'll do Thrawn.
yeah, you can do Thrawn.
So you've got Ashton.
Ashton writes dark YA novels.
He wrote one novel.
Yeah.
About a lake.
A lake with like a Ringu girl who pulls you in.
And
then there's Cassandra, and she's just been around forever. She's the sassy old lady.
yeah.
Actually, no, you can edit this. I realized
Okay.
I don't care anymore.
Okay. What else, Ben? I think that's all the authors.
Yeah. Then
we've
there's
also got Mila,
yeah,
who is the hostess with the mostest, Ben. And her two hired hands, Curtis and Taryn, who you think would be like important, they will not be.
No, I think that was the and then there were none homage where the staff were also part of it. But nobody knew the staff were part of it because they were all a bunch of classist weirdos.
What are you talking about? There weren't staff in that.
There was staff.
What are you talking about?
There was a butler and there was a lady. There was a dude and his wife.
Oh, but they died like immediately.
Yeah, and what happens to Taryn and the cook? Chef Boyardee. I forget his name already.
Curtis.
It's Curtis.
Curtis Boyardee.
Never met a Curtis I liked.
Yeah, that's fair.
Never met a Taryn I've liked. Never met a Taryn.
I've met a Taryn.
Did you like him?
She was all right.
There you go.
She was like 5'0" and then married a dude who was like 6'5".
Weird.
So what I'm saying is like I want to know how
Okay, I said a weird thing.
Draw me a picture.
I said a weird thing. No, you're saying a weird thing.
I need a diagram here.
I'm good
I want
now.
the physics for how this works.
I'm good now. You can edit this.
All right.
I think we're both going to look terrible, and that's all I care
about. That's what we're here to do. It's words about books.
Yep.
So, Mila, we get everything is from the point of view of one of the guests. Each chapter, it's usually a different POV, and Mila conspired with Alistair to set up a bunch of games to get these writers to confess their sins, and Mila is going to try and co-opt those games to kill you.
Everybody's got a you.
Yeah.
Everybody's
you have to figure out who their you is.
Yeah, there's always one person they refer to in the second person. And I gotta like I'd have to reread the book to see if you could figure it out by like if there's one name she doesn't mention. Like if there's one,
I don't think so.
I think she does say the person's name, but
At
just
least once.
randomly refers to them as you,
Yeah.
which is one of the kind of
Assholes, yeah. It's
yeah.
the thing that Agatha Christie did. It's not as egregious as in Then There Were None, where spoilers on an ancient book, the judge is thinking about just not at all the murders he's about to commit at the beginning of the story. And it's like, just why are you behaving and thinking as though someone can read your thoughts?
It was bet. It's like you said. It was better in the murder of Roger Ackroyd
Yes,
because he
because
had. We're
that was him
reading
writing
his
it.
diary. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's intentionally hiding the fact that he's killing Roger Ackroyd because that's his writing. He doesn't want you to know that.
yeah. But this is like this is an omniscient like first person. Like we're literally in their head. Like in Then There Were None. I think you were literally in their head,
Yeah,
and they just don't ever think about their crimes.
yeah, yeah. And Rodrigo does it too. He's like, I saw her on the island. I can't believe that she
She
is
is
here.
here.
My God.
Yeah. Who else does that? One other person. Cassandra does that,
For some reason.
and I think Fletcher does that too.
Yeah. They
There's
all have
several.
a.
There's the murder mystery, and then there's a separate like clue style mystery where you have to match up like who did what, like what each person's crime is. We don't even know that. There's a list of crimes and you don't know who they belong to. So you got to figure out what each person's crime is, and then you got to figure out who each person's you is, and then you can begin to figure out who's killing everybody.
By the time you figure it out, most of these people will be dead.
Also, it's not the murderer for most of them.
Yeah.
like like that was an interesting twist, I guess, is that the actual mastermind of this whole thing just happened to really luck out, and then these people like just almost immediately started tearing each other apart. So
Yeah, it's pretty awesome for them. Good for them.
it's all about like if you get the right team, it all just comes together.
The B team.
That's going to be on a poster in the work camp.
Hell yeah. So Rodrigo, he's like, oh, I can't believe that she's here. Also, he knows Fletcher. He likes Fletcher. Fletcher and his wife, Olivia, don't get along.
Fletcher and literally every other person on the planet doesn't get along.
Yeah, Fletcher's a very unlikable person.
What? Well, first off, he's British, so he's just
There's the problem.
yeah. He's like that aristocratic British, not the fun British.
He's that aristocratic British in the year 2025, as if that's still a thing. Get the fuck out of here, Fletcher. You're an author.
That was the other thing is like these people are really wealthy.
For
Some
authors.
of them,
Yeah.
especially like for the ones that aren't like super successful. Like how many people wrote the breakout murder mystery novel of the summer within the last 5 years?
All of these people.
Literally like most of them. Like most of them are only one or two books in. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I've derailed you.
So, there's going to be a theme for every night, and I didn't write those down, and a riddle for every dinner. And the first riddle is a big descaled blinded fish. It's Justice, Ben. Served
Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
Yeah, because Justice is blind, and there's scales, and
But
is
revenge is a dish best served cold. Nobody says that about justice.
yeah. Well, this is Justice served cold, which is revenge, Ben.
But
I
Rodrigo's pretty
guess.
sure it's revenge, not justice.
Yeah, and
But
he's like, there's someone on this island who knows my secret. Damn them! I'm gonna wander off into the woods to get to the bottom of this.
that's not what happens. But uh, Rodrigo is eating his disgusting fish dish
This is what you do as a writer.
that Mila has dosed with something
Yeah,
as per
the
the
good
instructions
stuff.
from her employer. The thing I liked was she had the drug in a secret bottle of soy sauce in her pocket. And she just dumps soy sauce laced with, I guess,
Amphetamine,
amphetamine
Adderall, just tons
on
and tons of Adderall.
on this fish, and he immediately notices there's something wrong with the fish, but he thinks everybody else is like, wow, this is really good, and he's like, this is fucking terrible, it just tastes like soy sauce and Adderall.
Like someone added more amphetamine salts
Yeah.
to this than normal.
It's weird. So I think his wife is also dosed with something. Mila tampers with both of their
Yeah,
stuff.
she gives her some sleeping medicine.
Yeah. And so
Amphetamines and sleeping medicine. Fuck yeah, sounds like a party.
Rodrigo has a secret. Rodrigo has,
And we will find out what that secret is eventually, Ben. But
yeah.
you know that he did some bad things to become partner at that firm, but the world of writing was a much better thing for him to do to get his mind off of the being a rich lawyer.
Well, no, he had to quit being a lawyer. He couldn't take it.
Yeah, he couldn't take the guilt of
Yeah.
eh.
So he obviously did something unethical in a case. He screwed over one of his clients. Uh,
Or in multiple cases, who knows?
who knows? He worked for Trump's DOJ. Couldn't live with it. Had to become a mystery writer.
Yeah.
That's
And
what's going to
then
happen to most of them.
yeah, that's what happened back in the first Trump administration, and he became a writer during the Biden administration. Now he's gonna die.
God, don't threaten me with a good time. Okay. What would Buddha want? Okay, now. So Rodrigo, he's part of what's getting to him is he's also been hiding this from his wife. She doesn't know. And she would just be so disappointed with him.
Yeah, she would be, wouldn't she? She'd be like, you did what to your client? Oh my god, I can't believe you would do that. I'm so disappointed in you, Rodrigo. I'm going to have to divorce you now.
Rodrigo, before I do though, I also have a little secret, and it's not as bad as breaking the ethics of a lawyer. I didn't violate any oaths. I do kill people. There's a serial killer in this game, and it's me. I kill people. Whoopsie. I clocked that right away. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe your wife murders people, man. It's the mimosas.
It's the mimosas.
It's an amoral drink. So, this is the only thing that anybody is going to remember from this episode, and this is what all the comments are going to be about. There's always like that one thing. But yeah, so he comes very close to telling her what he did, but he doesn't quite confess.
And then, high as balls off of amphetamine, he disappears into the woods, Ben.
He does not. He does not walk into the woods. No.
Oh.
He walks around the house. I think he's on the verge of entering a room. I don't know if he's going into Alistair's study. Not not Alice. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alistair's
not the
study.
study, Ben. That's something you have to remember for
Um,
day 4. It's all part of Mila's plan.
but he's on the verge of going in a room, and then he has this sense that somebody's behind him, and he turns around, and of course he says, "Oh, it's you." And
It's
the
you.
dark shape smiles and just stabs him repeatedly.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, I clearly did not catch that part. I thought he just wandered into the woods like an amphetamine crazed madman.
no, because there's a piece of evidence that is kind of downplayed that is integral to this whole thing. There is a golf cart. It's a locked room mystery, but there is a golf cart that makes all of this possible. And you need to know, like, if there weren't a golf cart, I'd have questions about how things get from here to there. But there is a golf cart. Um, so
Thank
uh,
God.
yeah, the next
I guess we
day
should mention this is on an island retreat.
it's on
So,
an yeah, because we knew what and then there were none meant, but
yeah, the next day, Mila is like, I can't find Rodrigo on the cameras, and also for some reason the cameras shut off last night. That's weird. It would be really bad if I like lost someone. That would ruin my career as a bougie party planner that I just started.
I was really hoping to spin this into something. But now
Right after I kill you.
do we know why at this point Mila wants to kill you?
It will gradually be revealed that you stole my ability to write and also my talent like the
Yeah.
aliens from Space Jam.
Yeah.
But instead of using a magic basketball or whatever happened in that movie, I can't really remember. You published my novel, even though I put original character do not steal on it, and you stole it anyway. And now you are living my dream life while I am a broke motherfucker who lived in a cardboard box or whatever. So I was contacted by Alistair, who knew what you did, you piece of shit, and we're going to get all you assholes to confess to your crimes and I guess be better people or something. But then I'm gonna kill you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Alistair
also,
thinks that they're using me, but I'm using Alistair. I'm already a step ahead. Where's Rodrigo?
I'm already a step ahead. It's my name on every document. I'm the one who brought everyone here. I paid for everything. Shit.
I'm beginning to think that I've made a horrible mistake.
There is one person, and I think it's Fletcher throughout the whole thing, where they're like, "We're mystery writers. We've got to solve this case." And Fletcher's like, "We're mystery writers. We don't know how to do shit." And it's like,
Fair.
he's arrogant about a lot, but he's pretty honest with himself about this. I
Oh yes, I did write down Rodrigo is going to bust into the study, which was off limits, and then he gets got.
Yeah.
Also, someone brought a gun. Of course, it would be you. And then we just move on to how Alistair met Mila, and I'm like, but wait, who had the gun? I guess we'll
You
figure that out.
you reader had the gun. I don't like the second person. I don't like the first person. I really don't like the second person.
I'm a fan of the fourth person myself.
I I that's just you writing the book. No, I don't like when books talk to me. I didn't do it. I didn't do shit to Mila. But anyway.
Yeah, unless Mila secretly wrote Edenverse, in which case I'll give you the $17.
Don't kill me, bro. If I'm living your dream, dream bigger.
Oh, so yeah, Fletcher makes some shitty remark about how Olivia is gonna lead Rodrigo to commercial fiction. Gross. And then
He's a fucking lawyer turned writer. What the hell else is he gonna do?
yeah, I don't.
This
Bro,
dude, this dude
bro
isn't
gave up a
Hemingway.
promising law career to be a writer.
Okay, and second, like, who would be the literary mystery writer?
What do you mean?
I mean, who like this dude acts like he's like Tolstoy or something.
Yeah,
Like
the great Fletcher, I
yeah,
hope is his name. Is that his first
I
name?
hope not because you're gonna have to cut this, but I think you know that name because that's my friend.
Oh, okay.
And he's very black and from Mississippi. You could not get further from British aristocrat than my buddy Richard Fletcher, but um, no, I'm trying to think like who we could even be talking about because like every great mystery writer I can think of writes like for the mass market.
Yeah,
Edgar Allan Poe, Arthur Conan Doyle, Agatha
Agatha
Christie.
Christie. Well,
Uh,
Fletcher is better than all of them because he writes for the artsy crowd that doesn't pay money for books.
but they don't read mysteries.
Yeah,
They
and
read sad
that's
books
why he's
about
found that niche.
a
He's found
man.
that niche amongst people who don't want to read mystery books and won't buy them or read them. Copies are flying on the shelves, Ben.
Yeah. Well, no, people buy it because they have to be seen with it.
There you go. It's a coffee table book, Ben.
Yeah. It's on
You put it next to your Fire and Blood.
it's on Obama's top books of 2024 that he definitely read.
Remember when Oprah had a book club?
Oh, she still does.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she retired from public life or
I
something.
don't think she was the one picking the books.
But she did that one book, A Million Little Pieces, where she brought the author back on and ripped him an asshole for lying about his life story because he tricked her.
Oh boy, Oprah, I got bad news about a lot of your guests.
Oh,
Tom Cruise
God.
can't really fly.
Dr. Oz is barely a doctor.
Doesn't he like Surgeon General or some shit now?
Well, yeah, now. I'm pretty sure he replaced Fauci or something, and he's going to get us through the next coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, there was a defaced book of Rodrigo's where the name of the character in the book was replaced with Rodrigo, and he was dying. And they're like, oh my God. And Milo was like, okay, I defaced a book, but not this book. What's going on here? I thought I was hijacking Alistair's game, but it turns out Alistair is hijacking their own game. And Alistair is like, yep, this is all according to plan. And everyone gets a box. And inside that box is a bunch of shit. And it's supposed to describe you.
You're just a master.
So all I remember is Cassandra had a dead Black Widow because she murdered her husband and maybe
Cassandra's
murdered
pretty
more.
upfront about that. She's like, I obviously got a Black Widow because I killed my husbands. Allegedly. Satire. What did you guys do?
And so, but in Rodrigo's box, there's a map. to a cemetery. And so they go to that cemetery on the island, and Rodrigo is dead, Ben.
Well, first, this is a little funny. First, there's a grave that says Rodrigo, but it's like aged and covered in vines. And then they're all like, "Wow, how did he do that? Oh my God, Rodrigo's dead body's tied to a tree. I thought he was going to be in the grave, but he's dead and tied to a tree." Like I thought we were going to have to dig up Rodrigo, but actually,
Thank
there were
God,
two
because we
things.
did not see a shovel in that house.
Yeah, no.
He's been hung and blind and shit. And
Yeah, he's supposed to
Justice
look
is
like
blind.
Lady Justice.
Yeah. And that's when Mila realizes one of the people on the island is Alistair. We see Alistair was supposed to show up, but then didn't. And it was all part of an elaborate ruse, but Alistair is actually among the guests, Ben. And then we get our next kill, Ben. That night. Fletcher's like, yeah, okay. This is just a retreat, guys. That was probably just a fake body, and at the end of the retreat, Rodrigo's gonna like pop out of a cake or something and be like, surprise, I was alive all along. So we're not gonna go to the cops because we'll look like a bunch of idiots for calling the police. And also someone destroyed the Wi-Fi router and cut the phone line.
Mila's like, oh,
whoops.
I didn't realize I would be in danger when I did that.
Yeah, no, if only they would have put more of those 5G towers, but that transmitted the COVID, so they had to go down. So
So you're saying Alistair's a boomer. By the way, his name is Thomas Fletcher because Cassandra
Fletcher
keeps calling him Tim.
And he's like, why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name?
She's like, you know goddamn well why I said that name, Tim. You want to keep barking
why.
up that tree, Tim? You don't know why she called him Tim?
I remember.
Was this an audiobook?
Yeah. I didn't catch how Fletcher was how Fletcher was involved. See, Rodrigo represented him, and he had met Cassandra in the past, but I don't know why.
You don't remember how he knew Cassandra?
They met at a convention in New York while she had murdered her husband with peanut oil.
That was Olivia.
Oh. How'd they meet, Ben?
Fletcher, in a previous life, was a therapist.
Yeah.
He was Cassandra's therapist. He worked with her after the death of her daughter, which was extraordinarily traumatic for her. He then published a tell-all memoir called something like the True Thoughts of a Therapist or something like that, where he made fun of all of his name swapped clients.
Oh boy.
And it was a huge success, and
that'll also get you like it doesn't matter if you didn't say patient names. If they're able to identify themselves, number one, you violated HIPAA, and number two,
there's a moment where he reveals that
your career is done.
His career was done.
Yeah.
He wanted to stop being a therapist anyway, and so he wrote this book.
He was a psychiatrist, though.
Yeah, but he counseled her, I guess. He did
Why?
Both.
Medicine, dude. That's where your market is. Just give medicine, move on.
And he talked about how annoying all his clients were, and her in particular, after the death of her child.
Yeah, what a crybaby.
And
it sure would suck if later on you became a murderer, but guess what? You're not gonna, because you're about to die anyway.
Yeah, so that's where she knew him from. His name was Tim, I think, when she knew him.
So she is showing an alarming amount of restraint by not just punching him on sight.
Yes, and that's why when he's like, stop calling me Tim, she's like, what are you going to do about it, Tim? And he's like, yeah, and he goes in his room.
Yeah, that's how I fucking thought, Tim. Want to make fun of my daughter again? I'll kick your fucking ass. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do, British boy?
I mean, she's showing an alarming amount of restraint until
She dies. Yeah, because now she's thinking about like, well, guess I'm gonna be next. Wonder how I'll go. Let's see. Uh, they seem to die based on like how characters in their books die. Can't do this one. Can't do this one. I'll probably just be thrown off the balcony to my death below, huh? Yeah, it's probably how I'm gonna die. And then she disappears, Ben, because she's dead.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, Fletcher is just a. I wrote down here he is a piece of shit, but yeah, that
yeah, that's well. He eventually tells everybody that that's who he's the one that wrote that book, and well, he doesn't. He keeps finding copies of that book everywhere in the
yeah, and
house,
he also
and
keeps finding busts of Julius Caesar.
yeah, because one of his people died by being struck in the head with a bust of Julius Caesar, and
So
uh,
yeah, that they got that from extrasensual perception. I'm not gonna press charges, but I would like some credit for this book. Chad Dingleton, right on the author.
I'm sure she's a patron. Yeah,
Can you fucking imagine that?
I know. So um he keeps finding copies of the book that the therapist wrote all over the house, and he keeps taking them and hiding them so that people won't see it because his fucking picture is on the dust jacket. And
Maybe you shouldn't
eventually
have.
and eventually after Alistair tortures him with this for a while, everybody just finds a copy of that book on their pillow. And they open the dust jacket and they're like, holy shit, it's you. You're this guy. And he's like, yeah, fine. I was a psychiatrist and I was just saying what everybody was thinking. And they're like, no, no one was thinking
It
that.
sounds like you were a bad psychiatrist on just a number of levels.
Yeah, no, everybody in this house, and every one of them's a piece of shit, but every single one of them is like, dude, that's a lot.
Yeah, if you want to just go off yourself, we'll say the killer got you and like
Well, that is how one of the people dies in his book. I kind of wondered if they were gonna convince him to commit suicide somehow. I wondered if they were gonna, um, I don't know, show like threaten to reveal something about him that he would put his idea of himself above his own life, and he'd have to kill himself. But no, they go another route
yeah, they do.
after teasing that one for a little bit. I hear it.
Yeah, I give that a moment. I'm gonna have to go upstairs if that doesn't handle itself in a moment. So, all right, Cassandra's gone, probably dead. Rodrigo's gone, probably
Well, he's
dead. I
definitely
mean,
dead.
hey, his body was removed.
Yeah,
He
well,
could have gotten up
Fletcher's
and walked
like,
away.
it could have been special effects, and we're like,
There
you're
was a
just
green screen.
you're just like the worst.
they filled the asteroid field in post.
Well, let's
And
take a
Mila is
boat.
like
Let's take a boat and get off this island. Oh, the boat sank. That
Mila
took
is
too long to happen.
yeah, Mila is like the boat sunk and also like I can't believe you would betray me by killing these people.
I was going to betray you by killing one of these people.
I was going to kill you. So we're going to play a game of Clue. And there's 9 cards, Ben. And if we solve everyone's sins, we will also find who Alistair is because one of the sins is the host, and that will lead us to Alistair. Oh my goodness. All right. You want to talk about these sins while I go upstairs real quick?
I could try, I guess.
All right, I'm back. She was upset that her pillow fell off the bed.
She can't pick it up, or
Nope,
does she
too
have?
too difficult.
Oh, okay.
That involves having to like do shit. So
Well, okay. So here's the cards. So there's backgrounds and professions and characters. So the characters are all of them. The sins are the child murderer, the exploiter, the drug dealer, the perjurer, the poisoner, the thief, the host, the accomplice, the serial killer. And then the professions are the housekeeper, the lawyer, the mentor, the therapist, the chef, the housewife, the detective, the event coordinator, and the prodigy, which I have just confirmed is
prodigy. Yep.
prodigy.
Prodigy. Yep. So yeah, it's a. They actually mentioned mafia. I know it as werewolf, but I was like, oh, someone immediately is like, yeah, I'm the what was it the exploiter? That's me. I'm the exploiter. Oh, that's funny because I think I'm supposed to be the exploiter. Oh, is that right? Why are you the exploiter? I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm
To be
pretty
fair, I
sure
think a
you're the
lot of these
liar.
things are exploitative. Like, it's weird that like I think a drug dealer is exploiting their
The
customers.
economy. Yeah,
Yeah, like I that's a it's
they're
a pretty.
exploiting an open market, okay?
I mean, like under capitalism, aren't we all technically exploiters?
And the exploited.
Yeah,
That's some deep shit.
that's some deep shit. I think we should focus on that, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's like, "Well, I looked at a card in the middle," and they're like, "Well, that's weird because I also looked at a card in the middle. So I think the only way you could have looked at a card in the middle is if you were the lone werewolf." And they're like, "Nah." And then someone else is like, "Well, I was the robber, but I'm not going to tell you whose card I picked just yet. But it was one of you two over there." And then we just start gaslighting someone until they confess.
So this is where it gets there's a wrinkle thrown into um, the game.
They put the Curtis and Taryn up there too.
Yeah, but most importantly, Olivia is. Oh, did I mention the serial killer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
did.
So Olivia is very quick to be like,
I'm the exploiter.
"I'm the exploiter,"
Yep.
because I look. The idea for my first book may not have entirely been my own, and you're thinking like, "Oh, she's the one." There's somebody who stole
She's
a
the
book here.
you.
Somebody stole a book, and somebody's had a book stolen from them.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I did not think that she was that person,
I
actually.
thought about it for a minute, but then I realized that Rodrigo was involved in the case that Mila brought against the person who stole her book. And if it was Olivia, then Rodrigo would have known, or Olivia would have known that he wouldn't have had to confess
Yeah.
to Olivia. So then I
Yeah.
was like, okay, yeah. So then that threw me off a little bit.
And plus Rodrigo would never date a client. That is a step too far for his ethics.
Yeah, that is Fletcher territory.
Yeah.
Um,
And Fletcher is like, "Oh, well, actually I'm the exploiter. I think you're full of shit." And then they start having an argument. He's like, "Well, obviously exploiter is one of the lesser crimes up there. So everyone's going to want a piece of that, just like in Werewolf when they're like, I'm the insomniac and I can prove that because I woke up and I saw that I was the insomniac."
yeah, and exploiter is a. I think that's really even too nice a word for what he did. Like, I don't know. Like, There's got to be a specific ethical violation that's called
HIPAA violator.
the HIPAA violator. Maybe two on the nose. I don't know, the
Why not just
traitor.
jackass? Yeah,
Um,
traitor is one.
I guess yeah, because I think he's the only one that really just straight up. Well,
He violates confidence.
the thief is also kind of a traitor.
Yeah, and then they can lie about who is
I
who.
guess the host is also kind of a traitor. There's a lot of sins. There's a lot of overlap. The Venn diagram of sin is it's a circle, man. So I'm gonna be real with you. They don't work on these cards very long, and they don't come
Not
back to them.
Not at all. Ashton tries in his room privately, but no one else wants to confess.
And it's kind of weird to me that they don't, because I guess like some of them are like, oh yeah, like some of these crimes are worse than others. Like obviously the serial killer kind of has the most to lose here.
Yeah, and
If we,
like, okay,
but
but also, I didn't do it. Yeah, there you go. What are you gonna do? Send camera footage from a retreat on an island? My defense will be that I had to say that in order to get out alive, and I plead the fifth. I'll get my husband. Oh, that's right. But yeah, and Ashton is like, well, I know which one I am, but it makes me sound really bad.
it
So I
like
don't want to
I did
say.
enjoy that. That was another funny thing. He's like, I know which one I am, but they're making it sound a lot worse than it was. It didn't go down like that, okay? Um, though he will eventually admit. I mean,
Yeah, from Ashton's point of view, he writes everything down in his journal and he's like, okay, let's see. Cassandra might have been the serial killer. She probably killed at least one husband, but you got to kill three people to be called a serial killer, and she only had two husbands. So,
actually,
like,
this is a weird bit of true crime knowledge I have. The definition of a serial killer is actually multiple murders punctuated by a period of cooling off.
okay, well, there you go. Maybe she is the serial killer, but we don't know for sure that she killed both her husbands. And I would ask her, but she's dead. So, but I will write down the one I know for sure, which is that I'm the child murderer. Turns out the guy who wrote a story about a lake that swallowed people alive was around someone who was swallowed alive by a lake.
And there's another bit of misdirection there because he keeps thinking of the person who he killed and he keeps thinking of Jack. And then there's a slight twist in that Jack is a girl. And if you're keeping track at home, Cassandra lost a daughter.
Yeah, you don't find that out in the book until much later, but yeah.
No, you find that out pretty early.
Eh,
You're not paying attention.
probably not.
She always refers to her daughter in the past tense. She wishes that her daughter could be there with her.
Maybe I got her confused with someone else. Look, all I know is that this is why this is a two-man podcast. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. We recorded a lot longer than we expected, so we're splitting this into two parts. So next week we're going to answer who the murderer is. Okay, whoops, we already did that. We'll also answer who the serial killer is. Now we already did that too. We'll answer who you is. We haven't done that yet. So you gotta stick around to figure out who you is. Anyway, I want to thank our patrons who are on the screen right now. Unless you're listening, of course, to the YouTube version, in which case there's just a static image. They're not on the screen. But for those of you listening to the podcast, they're on my screen right now. But I do owe a shout out to some of these patrons who went above and beyond to give us more money than we probably deserve. And that would be Jamie, the Gravy Man. If you want the gravy.blogspot.com, I think. .wordpress.com. Damn it. Now, I'm leaving that in. You know what? Shorten your URL. Like us. blog.wordsaboutbooks.ninja/words/rubric/ Anyway, you want the gravy. You want it. Is this what you want, Ben? You want me to record a new one of these every episode? This is on you. I'm not editing that. Next, we've got Isekai Sensei Sama from If You Want the Gravy. I don't know where. I got like no sleep. It's from that time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcast. No, that's also wrong. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcast. Keegan didn't give us anything to shout out, and that's why he's my favorite right now, because I don't have to try and remember something on the fly and say it. Shy with a Y on TikTok. I understand that's still a thing that exists. And then John Bierce, an actual author unlike us. I bet he would remember these shout-outs, but he's not the one shouting them out, so I guess you're stuck with me. Anyway, you should check out his book, The Rack, and also the Mage Errant series, and also the City That Would Eat the World series. Oh, God damn it. Okay, no. Now, The City That Would Eat the World is the book, but it's part of a series, and More Gods Than Stars, book 1. That sounds like that sound like 5 people. Jamie, John, Bierce, Isekai Sensei Sama, Shy with a Y, and Keegan. Alright. This is on Ben. I keep saying like, oh, let's record a thing so we have a consistent shout out. But then he's like, no, they want the raw whatever. So you guys tell me, is this what you wanted? Is this the shout out you wanted? I'm fucking tired. Anyway, join us next week. Thank you for sticking with me through that painful shout out. Next week, Ben's doing the shout out, so it'll probably be better. Okay, bye.
The Lord of Murder shall perish, but in his doom he shall spawn a score of mortal
Prodigy.